so and so. But wallahi, the fact of the matter is that there are living examples in the very world around us. People that most of us know and have heard about, who set their standards very high, and they were persistent and dedicated, and they reached the heights of whatever they were doing, even though when they started, people would have laughed and scoffed at them. Who are you to go and become such and such? And I give you the example of perhaps one of the most legendary scholars of the Qur'an alive today, or I should say scholars of the recitation of the Qur'an. One of the Qurra, one of the most famous Qurra, whom we were blessed to have to one of our conferences, Shaykh Ahmad Nuaina. Shaykh Ahmad Nuaina, just log on to YouTube and just see the amounts of videos and the amounts of viewers that have seen his videos. In the millions. And he is no doubt one of the most legendary scholars of the recitation of the Qur'an. He's mastered all 10 qira'at. Allah has blessed him with one of the top voices in the world. Do you know that he grew up in an upper class Egyptian background, having very little to do with Islamic sciences? He didn't go to an Islamic school. In fact, by training, he was a doctor. Again, going back to our previous speaker's point that doctors, mashallah, they have done quite a lot. One of the reasons, in my opinion, is because they learn time management. They learn that they need to utilize their time to the max. Dr. Ahmad Nuaina was a pediatrician. He specialized. He didn't even just do a general doctorate. He became a pediatrician. And he still is a pediatrician, a practicing pediatrician. One day he decided, you know what, I want to memorize the Qur'an. As a middle-aged man, he decides to memorize the Qur'an. He gets this idea that, you know what, I want to master the Qur'an. And he goes to one of the greatest scholars who happened to live in his neighborhood of the Qur'an. And this scholar said to him, you want to memorize the Qur'an? He said, yes. He said, I want from you just one thing, dedication. He said, of course, I'm dedicated. But he said, Shaykh, I'm a doctor. I don't have all the time in the world, but I can be dedicated and persistent. So the Shaykh said to Dr. Ahmad Nuaina, fine, you need to memorize and master 2 lines of the Qur'an every day. The Shaykh said, look, I know I don't have time, but 2 lines, come on. I can do more than 2 lines. 2 lines is nothing, a kid can do 2 lines. The Shaykh said, no. Your requirement is 2 lines, but you master all of the rules, all of the differences in these 2 lines a day. So the Shaykh told us, Dr. Ahmad Nuaina, he told us, you know, I began. And slowly but surely, you know, there's only a few thousand lines of the Qur'an, really. You know, there's only 600 pages in the Qur'an. If you memorize 2 lines a day, you're basically finishing a page in 7 days. So a week you finish a page, right? And there's only 600 pages. He's already memorized 4 or 5 juz, so he has around 20-25 juz left. So basically in a few years he finishes the whole Qur'an. And because he's studying with the Shaykh, he memorizes all of the different recitations, all of the qira'at, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed him with a beautiful voice. Guess what happened? Slowly but surely, he began being invited to different events to recite, graduations, other events, until slowly but surely, he began to rise up in the ranks of Qurra, even though he's not a Qari by training initially. He's a pediatrician. And he kept on rising and rising until lo and behold, right now he's one of the top living legends of the recitation of the Qur'an. And he is still a pediatrician by day. Because he didn't put any barriers on his limits. He said, you know what, Bismillah, let's go for it. And he's a living example, and there are so many other examples.